Billy J, Brisbane are out of the semi-final race, but they certainly will be hungry for victory.
They will, Pete, you're right there, because there's quite a few players out there that are playing for contracts for next year. And of course, they're on $1,500 to win, and that comes in pretty handy. They haven't had too many collects as of late. They are weakened a bit, of course, with Test players out today. They're without Khan, Langer, and also Johns. And there's also two late withdrawals. Captain Gene Miles is out, and also veteran Greg Dowling. But the team reads as follows. Paul Hoff is a fullback. You've got Hancock and Plowman on the wings. Renoff and Morganson in the centres. Julian O'Neill at 5'8", scored a beaut try last week. Wallace is a halfback. We've got Madison, Khan, Gilmeister, Andrew G, Kerrod Walters, and Mark Hone comes in for Greg Dowling in the front row.
Oh, it's certainly a very strong side. Well, David, Brisbane certainly have the Lang Park Cauldron going for them. The Raiders hope that they have the Bruce Stadium Cauldron going for them today. How do you think that'll
Well,
look?
some 25,000 people, and already this year they've had a great record at home. They've won 6 of their 8 matches. They are under strength today with the loss of Test players and also the injuries to Lazarus and Belcher. But the young fellows, it's a great talent here at Canberra, as you know, and it's still a pretty good side, and I think it'll extend the Brisbane side today, although Brisbane will be fired up. A lot of people are still saying in Brisbane they may still be an outside chance. Get to 26 points with every match, maybe figure in a playoff, but that remains in the future, Pete. But let's look at the Canberra side for fullback. McDonald is at fullback, Martin, Wood, Bell and Croker the 3/4, Twig and Stewart the halves, and the pack of Stanton, Gaffey, Barnhill, Coyne, Brett Boyd and Darren Fritz. It should be a great match.
Oh, it certainly will be a great match. It's Save a Raider Day out here at Bruce Stadium. Will the Raiders be saved in season 91 by this rookie outfit? We'll find out after the break.
Greg McCallum to look after this fixture between the Brisbane Broncos and the Canberra Raiders. Blows the whistle and away they go. Kick-off coming over there by Matthew Wood. And we'll just see now as Hopp works it up to about 20 metres out from the Broncos line. Up there is Walters as dummy half. Out to G. Walters again coming up as dummy half. Sends it outside to Gilmeister. Straight up the centre. They're about 20 metres from the halfway mark now. That's Mark Hone. Got out of the first tackle, the one coming in over there by Barnhill. This is Walters. Back it goes to O'Neill. The 5'8" drives it downfield, down towards McDonald, the fullback. He'll take it 10 metres out from his own line. Runs it out. Plenty of Broncos defence up there. Put to the ground, let off by Renoff. And at this stage, we might say a very good afternoon to Tony Durkin. Bit chilly down there, Durko?
Certainly is, Bill. In fact, very, very cold indeed. As you speak, though, the sun's shining, and it's been a pretty good morning in Canberra, but it's very, very cold indeed. And the breeze that is blowing is across the field, coming from the west, so that won't be of any advantage to either side. But I wouldn't be too sure if that won't change somehow during the afternoon, Bill.
Nice kick downfield there by Ricky Stewart.
Yes, he doesn't need any wind assistance, Bill, when you've got a radar boot like this fellow. Have a look at this for precision kicking. Beautiful kick. Lands about 8 metres in from the touchline, then kicks on to 2 metres from the corner post. Brings about a scrum 10 metres out.
Well, he's one of the men that have got to really rev up this side today with a team of youngsters out there. But the scrum to be fed now by Kevin Walters. He goes the blind side. Stewart there to meet him. Wrestles him to the ground. Coming half is Hancock, who was on standby for the Australian Test side, but Rod Wishart has now been ruled OK to play. Taking it up over there is Alan Cann.
There's the for and against so far for this season. Canberra sitting on 20 points. Brisbane well down on 16. Canberra 338. Not a great deal in that, really, when you look at their for and against. And really, that's come about by tries 61, I should say, by Canberra. 41 tries against Brisbane. 57 tries, 43 against.
So the kick through there by O'Neill. He was harassed on that occasion by Ricky Stewart. It wasn't the best of kicks, but Canberra end up with it with Paul Martin now, about 5 metres short of the halfway mark. So from the play the ball, back it comes this time to Stanton.
Interesting, Bill, that there's only one team scored more tries than these two, and that's Penrith.
Played forward by Stanton. Eventually put down to the tackle over there by Andrew G. Crowd really getting revved up to cheer this Canberra side on. That's Twig with it. Midway between the quarter and halfway, down in Broncos territory. Out to Fritz. Straight ahead. Big run there, but sliding it underneath was Julian O'Neill. Final tackle. So Stewart feigns the kick, gets his parts outside to Twig. He puts the kick in, but big Paul Hoff is back there to reef it in and start to run it out. Straight ahead, going to be tackled by Martin and Bell. Right on the quarter line. Renoff up as a dummy half. Canberra defence very keen in the opening part of this match. In the earlier matches today, in the under-21s, Brisbane defeated Canberra by 30-28. They led by 24-12 at one stage, scraped home 30-28. And the reserve grade Canberra stayed on top of the premiership ladder there with a 12-10 win over the Brisbane Broncos. They scored a try with about 3 minutes of the match remaining. So now we're on the final tackle. And the kick downfield by Julian O'Neill. It'll go into the in-goal, bounce just to the side of that post, into the in-goal area. And McDonald will take it up. Tackled by Mark Hone.
He's a big lump of a lad, Bill, for fullback. In fact, he's been used on a couple of occasions this time off the interchange bench as a second row forward.
Not surprising. Not surprising at all. So the tackle being effected there by Julian O'Neill on the wing of Croker. So Wayne Bennett there, been, as David Wright said earlier, reappointed to the Broncos for another 4 years or so. This is old stamping ground in Canberra.
That's right, Bill. He took Canberra to a premiership as co-coach with Don Furner.
There's the kick downfield by Ricky Stewart.
Touched in flight.
Hop is back there to take it. They're all onside. Away he goes. Can't get away from the lead-up tackle of Twig, and also getting into it this time is Fritz. So Broncos working it up to a couple of metres short of the halfway mark. Coming half waiting for it is Walters. Outside to Hone. Hone brings it up to about 2 or 3 metres inside Canberra territory.
So tackles running out now for the Broncos inside the attacking half. It'll go to Walters. That's G. Taken in the tackle. Coming in over there was Nigel Gaffey. 10 metres inside. Canberra's end of the ground. Walters against his old club here today. He was a member of that grand final squad that under Bennett that went down to Manly at the Sydney Cricket Ground in 1987. Now, the switch of play by Gilmeister for Walters. Dropping it over the head of the Canberra defence, but that will run dead in goal. Play will come back to the quarter line for the restart. So after 7 minutes of play in this first half, 0-0 here at the Bruce Stadium.
10,000 supporters witnessed the Raiders' 12-11 win over the Newtown Jets side, which included future Raiders stars Dean Lance and John Chicka Ferguson. Canberra's first taste of victory in the greatest game of all. Capital Television proudly supported.
With the tap restart, Tony Durkin a change to the Canberra lineup.
Yes, Nigel Gaffey, David, has gone to the blood bin, and Jason Deeth in jersey number 41 is on. Jason Deeth, incidentally, played in the 1988 Australian schoolboy side with young Julian O'Neill.
Well, O'Neill had a magnificent match against St George last week. There's the kick downfield by Ricky Stewart. Magnificent kicker of the football is the Kangaroo halfback. The ball won't go into touch. It will be fielded by Paul Hoff inside his own in goal. He manages to get it about 8 metres out, but on that occasion, Stewart not favoured with the bounce. Timmy Sheens, as his side walks that semi-final tightrope. 2 grand final victories in a row for the Raiders, but certainly with problems on and off the field in 1991. The Broncos working it out from their own quarter through G. Committed defence by the Raiders. Familiar dart out of dummy half by Walters. He's found his brother on the inside and just ankle tap by Ricky Stewart.
How often does he do it? Ricky Stewart, one of the best in the business in that little ankle tap in cover defence.
Now Gilmeister, they work it wide. O'Neill with that beautiful step. Got his kick in and it bounces just inside the touchline and play goes upfield by another 20 or 30 metres for the Broncos.
We saw Julian O'Neill score a brilliant individual try against St George last week, and he's showing there all the skills and finesse under pressure on the 6th tackle, defence all around him, looks for touch and just finds it.
Well, he made his first grade debut against Canterbury as a fullback, but I think, David, the closer to the action, the more suited he is.
No doubt about that, Fordo. He carries the ball nicely in two hands and always looking for support.
Now Twig through the dummy. He's met by O'Neill in defence, and coming out of the scrum very quickly was Mattison. Now Boyd searching from dummy half. Canberra have been forced to do 42 tackles so far in a half that's about 9 minutes old.
Fordo, I can't remember a dropped ball yet, so it's been a very high standard match so far. There has not been one error in the match so far.
There's Fritz. What a tremendous run upfield. And Tony, I believe that his parents are down for Rockhampton for this match.
Well, I know his dad has come down, David. I ran into him earlier. He's looking for where to go for his tickets, and he told me down from Rockhampton for the game to see his big fella play, and so far he wouldn't be disappointed.
No, he's played prop forward in the last 4 matches for the Raiders, with Brett Todd being on test duty with the Kiwis. Now Hoff got away from the defence, but it closed on him. Renoff taken by Boyd over the top. Coming in from the wing was Martin. Now Mattison. Good solid defence. That time it was led by Barnhill and Stanton. Stewart. Now Kerrod Walters, nowhere to go, decides to put the boot to the ball. Back goes McDonald. 10 metres out from his own goal line. Tries to advance the football to the quarter line, and he does just that. That's a great break by Stanton. Full back to beat in Hoff, but he can't beat him. Those big arms went out of Paul Hoff and pulled Stanton down, but the Raiders on the boil. Pass back for Deep. It's been knocked forward by...
Offside, he's called it, Fordo. He's allowed advantage play to run for some time, Greg McCallum. But after that great break downfield by Stanton, Brisbane never in an onside position. That man there, Hancock, was certainly one of the offenders. A chance now for Canberra to convert what was a great break there by Stuart Stanton into 2 points.
And the man that kicked 2 goals from 5 attempts last week. Well, we've got another injury there. Matthew Woodbill, a chance to put first points on the board for the Raiders.
Yes, he'll have a bit of a breeze coming downfield, which will be across his kick, but it won't affect it too much. Certainly hasn't affected the kicking of Ricky Stewart. It's been outstanding so far in this match. And tactical kicking like that certainly helps your team to put the other one under pressure all the way.
Sure does, Bill. Brisbane have had the advantage of possession thus far with 44 possessions as against 23 by Canberra, but it has been the kicking of Ricky Stewart which has kept Brisbane generally inside their own half and therefore unable to really get the attacking machine going.
So Wood moving back, attempting to post the first points in this match, which is 11 minutes old now. Time on, says the referee. Kick is on its way. Let's have a look. Okay from here. Yes, she's there. First points on the board. And Canberra lead the Brisbane Broncos 2 points to 0. Ready for the restart of play. Julian O'Neill back there on the halfway mark. And he'll take the kick off from there. So the first points coming up for Canberra. Big high kick this time by O'Neill. Back in the in-goal area to take it is Stewart. Got it outside to Fritz, and this fellow's done plenty of work in the opening part of this match. Plenty of good defence from both sides. But one big break coming up for Canberra, and it was Stanton, the lock forward, who was able to do that. So now it's Coyne to 25 metres out from the Canberra line. Right from dummy half, it was Boyd kicking along, and now downfield to Hoff is going to be there to take it a few metres in from touch. I would suggest that Paul Hoff will have his work cut out today. He'll be chasing plenty of those kick-throughs by Ricky Stewart.
Well, he sure will, Bill, because we've had 12 kicks in general play in the first 12 minutes of the match, and mainly because there hasn't been a drop ball yet. Both sides have carted the ball up, retained it for their 4 or 5, and kicked it downfield.
So this is Alan Cann up over the halfway mark, looking around for support, but he just can't get the pass away. Dummy half Walters. Now gets it back to Gilmeister, out to Hone. Hone back to Gilmeister. And Gilmeister keeps going. He's had a big year this year, this fellow.
He's improved his attack as well, Bill. Very much a defensive player before coming to Brisbane.
Yeah, well, he did say when he joined the Brisbane. This is Madison, gets it away outside. On to Renouf, struggling for the line. Is going to be held up a couple of metres out. Walters a dummy half. It is the final tackle. What will they do with it? Keep it going. Walters with a pass to no one, but it's going to be a penalty.
Canberra, for the same reason, inside the 5 metres. Let's say at least they weren't back on the try line. Renouf had gone very close himself. Canberra getting up. They must stay on the try line if the play the ball is within 5 metres of the try line, and Brisbane a chance to equal it up.
So Julian O'Neill, or rather Terry Madison, to have this shot at goal.
Madison was one of the players that created the opportunity on the left-hand side of the field there. Made a nice break, had support from Kevin Walters, popped it up beautifully. And really, Steve Renouf, who isn't a big man by any means, did well to get within a metre of the try line.
5 out of 6 last week against St George. His percentage success rate is 67% at this stage, which is pretty fair. But when you start loading it up against people like Halligan and so forth, those figures are getting, percentages are getting very high.
Yeah, Matthew Ridge as well, Bill. He's up around 83%.
So here's a kick from Madison. On its way, and it's good. And that levels it up now. Brisbane are 2 and Canberra 2.
Dan Aykroyd in his funniest film since Ghostbusters.
Scores might be level at this stage. The errors are rather interesting. Canberra making 7 errors as opposed to the Broncos 3. So from the kick-off, back there to Paul Hoff. And the big fella runs it out again. Oh, he's lost it in the tackle.
That is the first lost ball in the game, and it could be very, very costly. Last week when Brisbane played St George, they lost the ball directly from the kickoff, and the Dragons hit back immediately with a try.
In by Stewart, out to Twigg. Twigg decides to have a run. It's going to be taken over there by O'Neill, his opposite number. From the play, the ball scooped up on that occasion by Boyd. He'll play it. The dummy halfback there is deep. Stewart, Twigg getting it outside, then to Wood, then to Bell. Bell's going to be wrapped up though. Canberra still only about 18 metres out, putting on the pressure. Back to Fritz. They've wrapped him up on this occasion. Stewart signalling to his backs to line right out, but he flicks it back inside to Coyne. Coyne will be knocked over on the 10-metre mark. It is the final tackle. Watch for Stewart. He works the blind side, decides to run it out. Out to Fritz. Fritz is going to be knocked over just short of that line. Well, Stewart, everyone would be expecting him to kick, but he decided to run it.
He ran it, Bill, and he ran eventually one of his support players straight into Mark Hone. Look at the number 40 here, Mark Hone. Get across in cover defence. That was the crunching tackle. Renouf did well too to support. Just held him a half a metre out.
So the Brisbane Broncos now forced to try and work it out from their own quarter line. It's Kerrod Walters, a dummy half. That's Hone, hitting it hard and straight. But Barnhill came in with a good smothering tackle. Now, the pass looked forward.
Kerrod Walters has stepped out of the dummy half a couple of times today and offloaded good ball. Andrew G foolishly throws that ball away. That was a mistake there by Kerrod Walters. Once there was a delay in the ability to offload, he should have hung on.
So what have Canberra got up their sleeve here? An ideal attacking position, centre field. Off the back of the scrum went Stanton. He settles it on tackle number 1. Boyd a dummy half. That's Stewart. Twigg. Good strength by Twigg, but he couldn't unload. O'Neill stood to wrap him up, ball and all. It's for Stewart. Back for Coyne. 2 of the season campaigners in this young side today. Barnhill. Deeth left it alone. And it's finally picked up by Mark Bell. Back to where that scrum was. Canberra have made nothing in this set so far. Fritz advances at 2 or 3. Now Boyd settles a dummy half, giving it to Stewart. Across field for Twig. Stewart wrapped around again, but Andrew G wrapped him up ball and all. The final tackle, Twig. Good defence by Brisbane. Beautiful pass. Bell, back infield, Barnhill. Unloaded it for Bell. Numbers on the right. Good defence by Brisbane. And I think the first turnover of this first half.
Kevin Walters there was the man who had to go in and make that tackle. As Canberra faded across through Bell, Kevin Walters, an important tackle.
Walk it up. Now Walters, away for Can. Got beyond the advantage line. 25 out from their own goal line, Brisbane. 2-2 here at the Bruce Stadium. Now Hancock. Terrific strength by the former Test winger. The receiver is Gilmeister. Takes play beyond the halfway line. This has been a good set of 6 by Brisbane. Walters blindside Madison. Under pressure that time from Matthew Wood. Kick and chase. Regather by Madison. Looks for the support but can't find it. This is the final one for Brisbane. It'll go to Walters. A long pass cuts out O'Neill. Can ran away from the support. Got it back infield. Ball loose on the ground. And Coyne comes up with it.
Still will be a change over here. He'll play the actual knock on by Brisbane on the 5th tackle. Walters just couldn't handle as Can tried to offload. Referee brings it back to the mark.
Probably the most effective set of 6 for Brisbane in this first half so far. But just not being able to finish. That's deep. Legs taken out underneath by Madison. Out of dummy half went Boyd. Deep the dummy half. Threw it past Stewart. Onto the right boot of Twig. Well, he wasn't expecting it, David, and he paid the penalty.
Yeah, for the first time the camera machine has broken down because we just saw Ricky Stewart momentarily look to his right, and in doing so, the quick pass went past him.
It's 2-2 here at the Bruce Stadium. Brisbane have dominated possession, and they've won this scrum. It's O'Neill, a beautiful step. He's inside the quarter line, but the Canberra defence is there. Kevin Walters directing play on the blind with Gilmeister, trying to get those arms free. Kerrod Walters this time to dummy half. That's Kevin Walters. And G turns the back as he's wrapped up by Barnhill and Coyne. Policing the 5 is McCallum. Now Walters, search for the opening. Brisbane on the attack, just 2 or 3 metres out. Madison receives it from Walters. The long cutout pass, Renoff. Stepping run by Renoff. Good play by the young centre. This is the final tackle. Plowman. Kerrod Walters. Lack of communication. A loose pass on the ground. Brisbane come up with it. The little kick by Walters. The chase is on. McDonald shovels it over the dead ball line.
Well, it helps if you've got a twin to cover for you because Kerrod Walters made an absolute meal initially of that. When he got into traffic through the bad pass, his brother picks up, didn't kick straight away, which was important. He went to the defensive line, gave him an opportunity to follow his own kick through. Canberra just saved the day.
So it'll be a drop out from underneath the goal mouth, which means that Canberra will be under pressure once again. So at this stage, it's 2 points all. Canberra and Brisbane. Tony Durkin.
Well, Nigel Gaffey, Bill, we saw go to the blood bin early in this first half. Now he's a nasty gash under his left eye. Required, it looks like about half a dozen stitches. I'm sure Tim Sheens won't be too keen to need him unless they have to.
So it's taken up there by Hoff. 20 metres inside Canberra territory. So the Broncos getting a fair bit of possession out of this one today.
They have.
3:43. Walters going to be knocked down, picked up by Renoff. He restarts the tackle count, gets up to the quarter line. Broncos putting on the pressure again. Out to G, turns around to the tackle. Now he gets it away this time to Can. Can going for the line, knocked down by McDonald. Good tackle. But the Broncos still keeping up the pressure. Walters serves it away to Mickey Hancock on the blind side. He's over the line, he's got it down.
No, the touch judges come back to the field of play, Bill, to indicate to the referee he believes he was momentarily held up. Now, it'll be interesting to watch again, Bill. You watch the touch judge.
Momentarily, that's for sure.
That's right, and let's have a look at it. Now, the touch judge runs into the field of play. Let's have a look at Hancock. Held up there for a moment, then scored it. The touch judge jumps back onto the field of play side of the corner post, indicating to McCallum that he believed the ball was not grounded initially.
Well, I wouldn't say it was grounded initially, but he did get it down. However, that's the decision. In it goes by Stewart. So the Raiders live again after withstanding quite a deal of pressure from the Broncos.
They did. It was the confidence of Kerrod Walters to fire it straight to Hancock, knowing he could get across the try line with nothing much on offer. The ruling there is, of course, if your momentum is not stopped, you should be able to carry on and get the ball down. The touch judge, believing that Hancock was momentarily held up, and therefore considered it a no try.
So Boyd from the dummy half, back to Stewart. To Twig, then away to Matthew Wood, then to Pell. Or rather, it's Fritz out there. So Canberra still down inside their own quarter. Final tackle. So there's Ricky Stewart. Here's that familiar kick downfield, another raking kick down there. It means that Paul Hoff has a big run on his hands again. But he takes it. Canberra's chasing game. They're up everywhere. Hoff works across field, straightens up over the quarter, but is going to be put down. Renoff to dummy half. Back over to Plowman. Plowman having a run up the centre. Midway between the quarter and halfway, but he's lost the ball.
He's called it lost, Bill, but I think Canberra did rake at that ball. Controversy again under this new rule interpretation. Let's have a look at it. Did Plowman lose it, or was it stolen from him? Undoubtedly stolen. Canberra get the benefit.
So Stewart waiting in the back of the scrum. Now he gets it away to Twig. Twig turns it back inside to be taken there by Wood. Twig to dummy half. Out to Stanton. Tackled by Gilmeister, but eventually coming to ground under the tackle there of Andrew G. Stewart now gets it outside over there to Coyne. Coyne wrapped up by Hone and also Alan Cann. So Boyd, Stewart. On to Fritz, running wide. He's had some good strong runs. Eventually that's Martin with it.
Picked him in one, Bill. He's running wide, and obviously Tim Sheens is looking to punch holes out wide.
Here's Stewart dumbing his way through, but it's going to be pulled to the ground just inside that quarter line. Final tackle. So back to Twig. There's a little kick through. It's pretty well weighted. Michael Hancock back there and have a bit of a tuss, but he gets out of it all right. He's away as Hancock. Great run by the winger. Cuts back inside. Going to be wrapped up by Deeth. And also getting at the tackle there was Croker.
Real point to prove here, Michael Hancock. He was actually at one stage called into the Australian side this week as a penalty goes to Brisbane for Canberra encroaching into the 5 metres again after a long break downfield. But Michael Hancock suffered the disappointment of at one stage being notified that Rod Wishart would not pass the fitness tests, and yet soon afterwards was told that Wishart was back in the side.
Paul Hoff finds touch inside the attacking half. Tony Durkin.
Stuart Stanton in jersey 13 and Darren Fritz off in the Canberra Raiders side. Gaffey back on from the blood bin, and also the veteran for the Canberra Raiders, Brett Atkins in jersey 25.
Well, Brett Atkins was used off the bench against Parramatta last week. Madison giving the pass away, but good solid defence by Canberra. Who's been called out?
Barnhill, I think it is, Fordo. Swinging arm there on Julian O'Neill. The pass was put up by Madison to Julian O'Neill. He broke the initial tackle. Barnhill came in late with a swinging arm. And another chance now for Madison to put 2 points on. Let's have another look at it. There's the swinging arm over the top. The ball also had gone free. Greg McCallum indicating by that action, certainly a swinging arm, and I think he got it pretty right that it didn't connect. But on suspicion, Madison gets a chance to put Brisbane in front for the first time.
Well, he's now scored 362 first-grade points, but I would say the 2 kicks he's had so far in this match, he'd be hoping for this every week, David. 2 from right in front.
Yes, it's pretty easy going. Brisbane have played, well, both sides have played pretty well, really. It's been an entertaining game, highly skillful. Both sides have looked to offload and move the ball around the park. We've had no safety first stuff. And, of course, neither of these sides known for that anyway.
Well, Ricky Stewart, we just saw he's only missed 2 matches in the last 2 seasons. fact, both the halfbacks have been very, very durable. Kevin Walters, since he's come across from the Canberra side, has played 43 of the last 44 matches for the Broncos. They're pretty tough cookies. Terry Madison with the ball placed. Up go the flags. The Broncos lead here at the Bruce Stadium by 4 points to 2 over the Premiers Canberra.
At the special time, Tuesday, 9:30.
Hi, Grace.
The season climax.
It is my decision that you hereby be suspended.
I'm sweating.
LA Law, following the all-new Equal Justice on Capital.
Meaty Bites Working Dog Formula, especially formulated with 5-way nourishment for the extra energy working dogs need to deliver a good day's work. Meaty Bites Working Dog Formula keeps your dog in good shape 5 ways.
Right now, an eclipse is happening at all Mazda dealers. The Mazda 626 Eclipse, a brilliant features package including alloy wheels and air conditioning. This is a rare opportunity to afford the most luxuriously appointed family saloon available at a price you won't ever see again. Talk to your Mazda dealer now about the brilliant Mazda 626 Eclipse from $24,495. It's totally eclipsed the competition.
Performance like this takes the sustained energy that only one cereal was created to give. Kellogg's Sustain.
Made for the Australian Institute of Sport, this scientific balance of delicious grains, fruit and nuts, complex carbohydrates, controlled sugar with low salt and fat gives the essential fuel for lasting energy and better performance. A fact champions like these prove every day.
Kellogg's Sustain keeps the energy in your day longer.
With the wrong oil and the wrong advice, your machinery could be dead and buried. But BP Vanalis diesel engine oils and your BP distributor will save your machinery from an early grave. BP, on the move.
This has to be the city's best photo processing offer. How much do you pay for on-site photo processing? $15, $12, $9. Now, there's no need to pay these prices. Fast colour photo developing and printing from a low $6.50. No gimmicks, no gifts. Processed only at city markets. The cheapest 1-hour photos in town. Don't wait days for your photos. On-site processing from $6.50, and in most cases within 1 hour. Take your photos to City Markets Fast Photos, and you will save time and money.
Advanced Design, attractive functional home improvements, where you'll find shower screens, mirror doors and built-in wardrobes, where you can expect Australian-made quality and interest-free terms, where you'll discover very competitive prices and where you can choose from an extensive range of colours and finishes. Call 239-1341 or Interstate 008 041 538 for a free measure and quote. Advanced Design, 167 Newcastle Street, Fishwick.
Get their nose in front, and the irony, David, the tackle by Barnhill was his 12th to lead the tackle count in the first half.
He has been heavily involved. Paul Hoff just putting his foot on the dead ball line.
Now that's 2 mistakes from the kick-off from Paul Hoff.
Very awkward bounce, that one, even for a man as tall as Paul Hoff. A ball just kicked up in front of him, and there he is moving toward it. As it bounces away from Kevin Walters, and Hoff, very unfortunate there. The awkward bounce, couldn't do much about it.
There's the dropout. Oh, and a mistake from the dropout. So a comedy of errors. The first 15 or 20 minutes, we didn't see a drop ball.
Paul Martin there, perhaps the sun just marginally in his eyes there, and knocked it forward. It was always awkward for him. Scrum to pack.
The errors, nothing separating them in that department. Scrum feed Brisbane. Plowman was coming in from the blind wing, and we've seen yet another error, but the referee has set off the boot and knocked backwards.
Well, Brisbane very fortunate there. O'Neill tried to get a hand to it, but couldn't.
Now Hoff trying to redeem that error. He's 9 metres short of the halfway line. G. He's also affected 11 tackles in this first half to top the tackle count for the Broncos. Now Gilmeister can't get beyond that advantage line. Good defence coming in from deep. Kerrod Walters away for his brother Kevin. Then for Madison to Walters again. And O'Neill has dropped the football. It's a Canberra ball through Twig. Blind side is deep. That line is the halfway. Canberra hit it on the blind again with Barnhill. That's terrific defence by Renoff, although he came off second best. Stewart. Canberra are line deep. Floating pass out for Bell. And Bell is taken just on the halfway line.
So at this stage, Broncos have a lead of 4 points to 2. Canberra under pressure, and the mistake coming again. Well, we've had a flood of them in about the last 5 minutes.
Yes, Gaffey, the offender on this occasion. The ball should have been taken, just knocked forward. Chance for Brisbane, loose head and feed.
We'll wait for Kevin Walters to feed. Scrum a couple of metres inside Broncos territory. In it goes. Cross over there to O'Neill. Outside to Morganson. Couple of metres short of the halfway mark, he's pulled down. Two centres getting in for the tackle in Wood and Bell. So now Paul Hoff. Couple of metres inside Canberra territory. Hone. Tackled over there by Gaffey. Had quite a nasty gash to his cheek. That has been stitched up, and he's back into the action. So back to Walters. O'Neill waits for just a moment. Morganson dummies, trying to get through the gap, pull down 30 metres out. It is the final tackle. So Walters will send it back to Julian O'Neill. Kicks it downfield. It's going to be picked up back there by Boyd. 25 metres out from the Canberra line, and a penalty coming up.
Well, I think Canberra a bit unfortunate not to get the penalty even earlier, Bill. I'd say those players were definitely in front of the kicker. Boyd snatched it well and should have been outside 10 metres anyway.
Stewart is going to find touch. 10 metres inside Broncos territory. Canberra to take the tap. The crowd start to spur them on here at Bruce Stadium as Coyne takes it up. Got out of Gilmeister's tackle. But it's Kevin Walters slipping in underneath on this occasion, or rather Kerrod Walters underneath to put him down. So back over to Twig. They keep it going. Defence of the Broncos holding up. Away from dummy half Twig. Quickly going to be claimed there by Madison. Boyd to Stewart. Decides to have a run on this occasion. Never quite sure what's going to happen when Ricky Stewart gets it. That's McDonald. 20 metres out from the Broncos line with the final tackle. We'll watch for Stewart this time. Outside from Boyd. He's got to put it up here. That's a nice high kick. That'll bring down a bit of stow, I'd reckon. Bounces and straight in the hands of Mark Hone.
Neither side really wanted to get to that ball. Paul Hoff came from a long way back, but seemed to be tripped as he tried to move toward the ball. Plowman brings it out.
So Walters going to go back to Alan Cann.
Bill, two of the smartest attacking units in the Winfield Cup. 33 minutes gone and no tries.
Broncos leading by 4-2. That's Paul Hoff. Couple of metres short of the halfway mark.
That's where Hoff should run as well. Just one off the ruck. Don't get too close to the ruck, as we've seen a few times today. Brisbane still dominating possession.
So it's Michael Hancock. The final tackle that goes to Madison. McDonald will have to run across field to fetch it. Inside the dead ball area there, but he runs it out and runs it out well. He gets up to the quarter line. That's a high tackle. Referee will come in and take a bit of note of that.
Alan Cann, I think, is the one who's going to be called out. Went for the big hit on McDonald as he cut back on the inside. Cann there, glancing blow. Somewhat fortunate, just a penalty.
So it'll be a penalty down there on the Canberra quarter line, which will relieve the pressure.
Bill, I would speculate that Greg McCallum, this would be the first game he has had. Hang on, he hasn't found touch.
No, he hasn't. Taken by Paul Hoff just on his own quarter line. He decides to run it out. He's got a bit of room out wide here, and he decides to clap on the pace. Gets out of the first one. The tackle coming in there from Twig. Doesn't get away from deep.
Well, just to finish that, I think this will be the first game McCallum has had with the Broncos since he sent Kerrod Walters off earlier in the season.
And that's our man Walters is in his dummy half now. He decides to work the blind side away to Mick O'Connor. Michael Hancock. O'Connor. So back to Madison, to Walters. Now to O'Neill. There's the gap for him. He starts to move. He cuts across field. Still going. Out to Plowman. The crowd call for a forward pass. I think they're pretty right.
Yeah, metre forward. Plowman there misread the ball.
Paul Hoff down injured at the moment in back play. That's Gilmeister. Up to the quarter line.
There's Hoff getting attention.
Final tackle. Back over to Madison. The kick through by him. Back in the in-goal area is Martin, but he gets out, runs into Plowman, put down about 10 metres out from his own line.
Great work
to go, 4-2.
Great work that from Martin to get the ball out. He was very well hemmed in initially. There's a lost ball, but a steal.
Gee, that relieves some pressure for the Raiders. And Ricky Stewart will try and drive it deep down play. Let's look at it again.
Kerrod Walters there with a hand in there, raking the ball away.
So the kick takes play to just beyond the quarter line, into the final 5 minutes of the first half. Tony Durkin, a report on Paul Hoff.
Paul Hoff's okay, David, just a bump to the head. He's back on the field and in action.
And Gary Coyne, 33 out from his own goal line. Barnhill wrapped up in centre field. Boyd goes to dummy half. Stewart hits it on the blind. The pass looked forward. Now it goes away for young Croker. Ball back in field, dived on by G. Young Croker came in the 4th round this year into the top grade and has not missed a game since. And it's been one of the real successes for the Raiders, coming up with 7 tries so far this year. Hoff recovered as a dummy half. Away for Hone. Has played strongly in the first half. Renoff takes the tackle of Matthew Wood. Still on the blind is Walters for Plowman. And the big steamroller goes down that left flank, but well picked off in the tackle by Martin. Moving open side, Madison, Walters, O'Neill. Kept the ball in front of him, got the pass away for G, and taken over the top by Ricky Stewart. Morganson. Brisbane look a little disorganised. Boyd wraps up Walters. It's on the final tackle, they're 30 metres out. On the blind side, they elect to run the football. G with the kick. And that's what happens when front rowers get involved in the kicking game.
Yes, not a good passage by Brisbane, but you've got to give credit to the Canberra defence. Brisbane tried to spread the ball from one side of the park to the other. The significant tackle really was that of Ricky Stewart, who would not take a dummy, moved in quickly.
Now it's Matthew Wood, taken by Renoff. Inside their own quarter, the Canberra Raiders. Paul Martin, that's a great stepping run. Can came across to stop his progress. Barnhill, 33 out from his own goal line. It's 4-2 with Brisbane in the lead in this round 18 clash of the Winfield Cup, coming from a very chilly Canberra at the Bruce Stadium. And I'm sure that the players are very relieved that that sun is at least still shining, because a very cold wind is blowing. Now Twig. Renoff is there in defence again. This is the final tackle. Look for Stewart. He decides to run it. A good floating pass was misread. Croker picked it up well. And that will be another turnover, changeover of possession. It will be Madison to play the ball on the halfway line.
Canberra electing to mix it up a little bit, Fordo, with their kicking on that 5th tackle, sometimes running it. On a couple of occasions, Stewart took the punt there, didn't come off.
Into the final 2 of the first half. A settling run by Mark Hone. Walters. G turned his back on the opposition. This is the 6th game as a prop forward for the State of Origin second rower. That's scrappy play again by the Broncos.
Gilmeister tried to get the hands free and turn the ball back on the inside. Poor pass as he was held round the waist. Look for Kevin Walters, his captain.
So just on a minute of play remaining in the first stanza here at the Bruce Stadium. Stewart working on the blind side. His shadow was Walters. Martin from dummy half. Jason D takes play to within 5 short of the halfway. Canberra with the big surge before half-time. Gary Coyne took on Kerrod Walters and took it beyond the halfway. Boyd looking for a runner on the blind side. It's taken upfield by Atkins. 45 seconds remain first half. Stewart, flick pass back for deep. Andrew G was there to meet him in the tackle. This is the final one for Canberra. Will we see the high ball from Stewart? No, they elect to run it with Coyne. A good pass for Croker. Croker takes on Hancock, but can't get around him. The ball into touch.
Once again, Canberra running it on that 6th tackle, of course, with only 20 seconds up to half-time. Had every right to give it a go. The pass out to Croker. He still tries to flick the ball out the back corner as Hancock gets a hold of him. Couldn't get the ball clear. Brisbane get the ball on the changeover.
Just seconds remain in the first half. A trialist first 40 minutes here at the Bruce Stadium. And as the hooter sounds on the final tackle, the score favours.
No one aims better, no one shoots straighter, and no one's triggered off a mob war this big since Goodfellas.
Okay, wise guy.
Peter Strauss is Blake Edwards' dashing private eye, Peter Gunn. A hilarious comedy premiere, Monday, 8:30 on Capital.
When it comes to car insurance, there's any number of companies who'd love to talk to you. But only MMI has the experience to put you back on the road as well as your car. In the last 10 years, MMI has handled over 450,000 injury rehabilitation claims. That's 450,000 on the road to recovery. MMI, the quality standard in insurance.
The new Magna SE manual sedan. What a car! I'm less than $25,000.
You know, a Subaru Liberty costs less than that.
What? Maybe, but...
The Liberty's more powerful, it's economical, and it has air conditioning fitted standard.
Well, what about a 12-month warranty?
The Liberty has a 3-year, 100,000-kilometre warranty.
Please consider...
And it's fully imported. Subaru Liberty. From under $24,000, nothing else stacks up.
Give better a whirl. Give better a whirl. It's 100% Durwit, so it doesn't stick together.
And the textures can't be beat.
Give better a whirl. Ask Maria. There's no finer pasta in the world. Give better a whirl. Give better a whirl.
Step to it. Step to it, Canberra.
Foxy are fast with 1 hour on-the-spot colour print developing and printing. Only $8.95 for 12s or 24s. Foxy are convenient with branches at Hawker, Kippax, Woden and Waniassa open 7 days and Manuka and Queanbeyan open 6 days. Enter the Fuji freeze frame competition at Foxy, where Fuji film is also discounted. So the next time you snap a few memories...
Do it with Foxy.
Sometimes being able to stop is a matter of life and death. So for the life of you, have your brakes checked and make sure you can stop when you really have to. Checkpoint Brake Centers. If you haven't seen us, what's stopping you?
MMI and Nissan are proud to be associated with Channel 10's coverage of Rugby League.
Congratulations to our Week 12 winners in our Fujifilm freeze frame competition. Pete Donnelly from Leonay in New South Wales and W. Sandiger from Broadbeach in Queensland, who both win a Fuji Footy Super Pack containing a Fuji autofocus camera with Fujifilm, a pair of Reebok pumps and an autographed Rugby League jumper and tickets to a Winfield Cup match. Now to enter each week on the back of an envelope, just tell us who you are, your address and name the famous vase that appears in the freeze frame during the MMI big game. Send it to Fujifilm freeze frame competition, P.O. Box 8 Broadway 2007 New South Wales. Don't forget to include a Fujifilm pack with your entry. And all those entries will be included in our major draw, September 15 for a trip for 4 to Los Angeles, flying with Air New Zealand.
So half-time here and the Brisbane Broncos leading Canberra by 4 points to 2.
Defence in the first half, Bill, has been interesting. Canberra have had to do a little bit more. There's the scoreline, 4-2. Canberra have had to do a little bit more tackling than Brisbane, 114 to 99. Barnhill and Coyne have done their share, along with G and Gilmeister. Possession, very important. Brisbane have dominated possession, but have not been able to put points or a try on the board. 106 to Brisbane, 84 to Canberra. Brisbane were across the try line. Michael Hancock held up.
Julian O'Neill starts playing the second half of this match. The kick will go dead.
It's a long raking kick, that one from Brisbane. Opportunity now for Brisbane to go straight on the attack in the second half. Goal line dropout.
Tony Durkin down there on the touchline. What's the story at half-time, Tony?
Well, Wayne Bennett obviously is pretty happy with that scoreline, with the Broncos in front by 4 points to 2 at half-time. The message from him was pretty simple. Keep it going as you have done. One change in the Brisbane side. Andrew Testman's on for Alan Cann, and the message to the Broncos was to use that breeze. With me, Laurie Daly, who, of course, is not with the Canberra side today on test duty. And, Laurie, what did Tim have to say?
Well, Tim was pretty pleased with the first up effort by all the blokes, and you know, he's just told them to keep going and make sure we have a good kick chase and ball security. So you know, they're two things that we're going to work on hard this half.
Mate, you'll be very pleased to get out of this cold and get up to the sunshine of Brisbane tonight.
Certainly will. You know, hopefully. You know, we can get away with the win here and look even better the trip, mate.
Well, thanks for coming down and talking to us. All the best for Wednesday night.
Thanks very much, Durko.
So we see Canberra in possession after the Brisbane Broncos talking about, I think at that stage when Laurie Daly was talking about keeping your ball possession, they lost it.
Andrew Testman it was who lost the ball in the tackle.
So it's Canberra right on the halfway mark.
Interfering in the play the ball there, Mark Hone. He wasn't in a position to mark up at the time the play the ball was being made. Made a push then and causing a penalty to result to the Raiders. Perfect start. Tim Sheens would have been after this. Even after making a mess of the kick-off, they're back on attack.
Matthew Wood finds touch and Boyd comes up onto the mark. They're about 30 metres out from the Broncos line. That's Coyne. Back to Stewart, working right across field, eventually finds Gappy. Coming half is Boyd. Works it to Barnhill. Onto the quarter line, can't get the pass away. That deep outside of him. Boyd, back to Stewart. Twig, on it goes then to Wood. Bell, wrapped up. Back on this time to Twig. Almost up to the quarter line. It is the final tackle, so they send it back to Ricky Stewart. He's going to put it up high this time. Another big one. The wind's going to bring it back a little bit. Hoff lets it bounce. Bouncing away. Going to be picked up by Walters.
For the second occasion, Paul Hoff couldn't get to that towering punt kick by Ricky Stewart. And Brisbane very, very fortunate. There the ball swirling around. It went very, very high. And Paul Hoff couldn't handle it.
This is Brett Plowman. Big, strong run by the winger who's come into the action up the centre there. On it goes to Hancock. Another strong run by the winger. So Broncos making some ground as Gilmeister carts it up again. Vital tackle. Dummy half Walters. Swinging away on the blind side. The kick downfield by Madison. McDonald will have to run back. Almost to his own line to pick it up. Renoff comes at him, bumps him away. Plowman comes in from the wing and eventually pulls him down. So it's Canberra in possession again. Martin thrown into touch. Good tackle by Renoff.
Paul Martin realising, Bill, that Plowman, his opposite number, was very slow back to his feet. Decided to dash down the blind side. Renoff there just in time.
Waiting for Walters to feed the scrum. It's 25 metres out now from the Canberra line. Broncos leading by 4-2. No tries in the matches yet. Cross over there to O'Neill. Try to get away from the tackle. First up by Bell, but he's caught by that player and also Michael Twig. Hoff into the back line. Almost to the quarter. Walters decided to go himself because nobody was ready.
Well, there was a few ready on the right-hand side. Walters ignored them, looked left, and there was certainly no one there.
So G getting it outside to Tessman. Tessman knocked over. 15 metres out from the Canberra line. Walters back to Madison. Now on it goes to Kevin Walters. He cuts it through the gap. He's going for the line, reaching out at his home.
Great try, Kevin Walters, off a beautiful pass by Terry Madison. Brisbane for a long time seemed to have nothing on. Walters knew where the try line was after being put through the gap. He'll take great pleasure in scoring against his old club. Madison holds it up nicely. Mark Hone was the dummy runner. Madison does it very nicely, and then the ball up to Walters, and he just gets to the try line. Brisbane finally get the try they've been searching for. Barnhill came up too quickly, cuts across then Kevin Walters. The captain of the Broncos reaches out. Fair try.
Well, he came up with one last week against St George, and he's come up with another one today, his second try of the season. And as David Wright mentioned, against his old club, a club that he played 35 matches for, today his 43rd for the Brisbane Broncos. And now back inside the quarter is the attempted conversion of Terry Madison, who so far has a 100% strike rate here at the Bris Stadium today. And again, a relatively easy attempt for Terry Madison. Ricky Stewart laying down the law to the Raiders. That first chink in the armour has led to a Broncos try. Can Madison add the other 2 points? He's done just that. So the Broncos open up a handy lead of 10 points to 2.
A new series premiere.
Tell me what happened. I want the truth.
Cops. The innocent. The guilty. The real story, no actors.
Prostitution and AIDS.
Thursday, 8:30 before Twin Peaks. Cops on Capital.
In 1989, fire caused $1.8 million damage to the Tannery, a small factory in Kingsgrove. The owners were insured with MMI. 75 years of experience and hundreds of thousands of claims meant MMI understood the need for a quick response. In fact, MMI approved the $1.8 million claim the very next day. MMI, the quality standard in insurance.
Hi, John.
You look good.
60 to the gallon.
You're so fine.
I didn't know that.
Smart car, Daihatsu.
Ingy's got a charade.
Got style.
Ingy!
And you're mine.
3-year warranty.
You're my best friend, Daihatsu.
Tom, your charade's got multi-valve, right? Smart. Well, that's great.
You look good. And you're mine.
I got it.
Smart car, Daihatsu.
Now any phone can be like your own office phone with a Telecom Telecard. Using the numbers on the card and your private PIN number, you can make calls from any phone anywhere in Australia or overseas and have the charges billed to your business or home account. Very efficient, very convenient. For more information, call 008 032 032 now. Telecom Telecard. Any phone, anywhere.
Get into Southeast Queensland with 7 nights in an all-suite hotel from only $562, including airfares. Queensland Holidays. Now more than ever for a lot less than you expect.
Sometimes being able to stop is a matter of life and death. So for the life of you, have your brakes checked and make sure you can stop when you really have to. Checkpoint Brake Centers. If you haven't seen us, what's stopping you?
Get into Queensland with 7 nights on the Gold Coast from only $437, including airfares. Queensland Holidays. Now more than ever for a lot less than you expect.
First-rate drama,
With all due respect, you can't pull this off.
but second to none.
We're supposed to represent the people.
Capital's sensational new series.
I'm gonna nail her.
Equal Justice continues Tuesday, 8:30.
Did I detect a smile on the face of Wayne Bennett?
Well, he's got an 8-point lead, Fordo, which is a nice little buffer for a change. But Brisbane have a habit of making an early mistake from a kick-off.
So the restart of play, driving it deep downfield. This time, Hoff secures the ball from the kickoff. And those big striding legs takes play up towards the quarter line. Testman. Wrapped up 22 metres out. Gilmeister. Got another 5 or 6, but very, very slow to his feet. Walters away from Madison. That's terrific defence from Gary Coyne.
Bad ball by Walters. There was really nothing in stepping out of dummy half and just offering it to Madison like that.
There's the kick downfield. McDonald has had an excellent match so far. A very strong returner of the football. Uses his bulk and his speed to great effect. Croker. takes play to the halfway line. Back line movement, that's deep. O'Neill was up quickly on him. There's Tim Sheens. His side trailed by 8. That pass was forward.
Well, it emphasised the problem the referees have. They referee well in front of the play on that 5-metre defensive line. They can't spot the forward pass.
Nice little chip over the top. Where's the bounce? It's for Hancock. He tried to get around Croker. Got around him, but can't get past Ricky Stewart. First receiver is Madison. The defence up very quickly, notably deep. But this will seem a little indecisive, Brisbane at the moment. Now G turning it back for Walters. Now Gilmeister decides to advance the football and did it effectively. Unloaded it beautifully for Hogg. Hurdling the opposition and brought down. That should be a penalty. They go open side. Walters. Terrific tackle from deep again. 9 minutes gone in the second half. Brisbane lead by 10-2, the final tackle. High in the air from the boot of Madison. And McDonald took it brilliantly.
Broncos getting in their own way there, and Julian O'Neill looks like he's got an ankle problem after being pushed in the back by one of his own players. Penalty to Canberra. That will relieve a lot of pressure.
In fact, it was Ricky Stewart who came across to take that bomb. McDonald was there again, giving that protection that was required. Canberra favoured in the penalties, 2-1. Now Boyd looking for the run-up. And he's got Atkins. Look at that tackle of Andrew Tessman. Just stood his ground. Open side Stewart. Away for deep. Heavily involved since he's come on as a replacement. Working right-hand side with Stewart. Twig held the pass up. But Walters came and G over the top with Tessman. Stewart. In fact, it was the centre three-quarter in Mark Bell. Boyd. That's Stewart. Off the right foot. Bouncing inside the corner. And it will be Paul Hock to try and run it back. And in fact takes it beyond the quarter line.
So you'll get up to play it now with the Broncos leading by 10 points to 2. As Wilder sends it on to Plowman. Plowman fighting for that extra bit of distance there. Bit of kicking about today. Broncos on 15 occasions, Canberra 13. Pass getting away out over there to Morton. Somebody's lost it. Canberra up with it. So now the crowd really getting behind them as the ball comes out over there to Barnhill. He's knocked over midway between the quarter and halfway, down in Broncos territory. Twig sending it outside to Stewart. Wood getting it away out wide there to Croker. They get it back inside, but into touch.
One of the best defensive performances by Brisbane, no doubt. Canberra have had their share of good attack, but Brisbane's defence has been good. Sliding defence again. Michael Hancock gets a hold of Croker. The pass back on the inside. Good cover defence, Morganson and G.
Now there's a change coming up in the Broncos lineup. Mark Hone is off and Alan Cann coming onto the field. There's Alan Cann. Referee to restart play just inside the quarter line. Down it goes, in by Kevin Walters. Referee wants it in again. Kicked away there by Canberra, but picked up by Walters. He works the blind side. This is G. Runs up to deep, but he and Atkins take care of him. Mark Hone leaving the field. That's Tessman.
Tony Durkin down there on the touchline. Durko, Brisbane have the advantage of a slight breeze in this second half.
Yes, it's across the field, but more behind Brisbane than Canberra. And I just wonder, David, if Brisbane has someone who can exploit it as well as Ricky Stewart did in that first half.
Well, there's the kick downfield on this occasion. It bounces up nicely for McDonald. He runs it out. Is eventually put down by Kevin Walters over there. Canberra about 10 metres short of the halfway mark. Boyd sending it back inside. But the defence coming up to meet Gappy over there. Stewart. They keep it going. Canberra on it comes this time to Bell. Chased and put down by O'Neill. And also Alan Cann combining in that tackle. On to Barnhill. Shows it one hand. Now he gets it away. Deep. Sends a pass back. It's going to be knocked back. Picked up by the Broncos. And it's Renoff coming up with it. Walters back over to Tessman. Over the halfway mark before he's put down. 27 minutes remaining in the match, and the Broncos have a lead of 10-4. Plowman again getting involved from that went 10-2. Again getting involved in that play. Now O'Neill, what's he going to do with it? Gets it outside. This is Big Hoff. He's coming up to the quarter line. He's going to run McDonald. He'll go for the corner, and he's in.
Well, Paul Hoff may look untidy. He's got the jersey out, he's got the socks down, but when he motors, there's not many can get near him. Wayne Bennett would be a very happy man. Paul Hoff, who was dropped after the first test, is here to do his job for Brisbane through a yawning gap. That's where he needs to run. 10 metres off the touchline. That's the place for the fullback to come in. Let's have a look from the end on now, and we'll see Brisbane, how they create this opportunity for Paul Hoff. Good quick movement, Kevin Walters, dummy by Julian O'Neill on the inside, drew in two, Hoff into a yawning gap, away he goes, down the touchline, cuts away from McDonald, he had no answer. Paul Hoff in for a fine try.
Billy, a touch of deja vu to Lang Park last year when he stood Gary Belcher up in the corresponding match. It's his first try of the season, although he did come up with a vital one for Queensland and the state of origin. But it just brought back memories of that magnificent run where the in and away had left Gary Belcher in his wake the same as he left McDonald today.
And in the process has allowed Brisbane to scoot away with a lead of 14 points to 2 and make it rather difficult for Canberra to stay in the race at that rate. And Tony Durkin reports to me from the touchline that Wayne Bennett actually grinned, although it might have been his teeth chattering in that cold down there. I wouldn't trust that. That's only a nasty rumour. So now it's Matterson. Taking plenty of time. He'll have that wind blowing downfield, which will be across his kick. Back onto his mark. Crowd letting them know that they're here at the match. He's on his way. Let's have a look at this one. Waved away. So the score remains Brisbane leading by 14-2.
Tonight on Capital.
Do you believe that there's life on other planets?
Dan Aykroyd in his funniest film since Ghostbusters, and Kim Basinger in a cosmic comedy.
Would you mind if I kissed you?
Does it hurt?
She's not here for a long time.
Dad, she ate batteries.
What?
She's here for a good time.
What is sex? Foreign aliens.
For the first hilarious time on television.
Cheers.
Tonight, 8:30 on Capital. My stepmother is an alien.
Cheers.
Just as there are differences in the quality of suits, there are also differences in the quality of insurance policies. MMI, the quality standard in insurance.
There's at least $1 million up for grabs tomorrow night at 8:30. And you've only got tomorrow to get your entry in. You could be next.
You can win the big one.
Some time ago, Ford set themselves a task. Put simply, to build the best big family car Australia had ever seen. Now, they had the body right, they knew that, but it did mean finding new ways of looking at suspension and steering systems and ensuring that when any one of a choice of 6 or 8 cylinder engines was matched to the electronic transmission system, it would make this Falcon the most responsive Ford had ever built. In short, it meant taking a car that was already one of the most popular in Australian automotive history and actually making it better. Truth is, you haven't driven a Falcon until you've driven the new EV.
Now you and your family can always keep in touch with a Telecom Telecard.
I've got to go. Bye.
Here, use our phone.
Using the numbers on the card and your private PIN number, you can use any phone, anywhere, and have the charges billed to your home or business account.
Yeah, hi darling. I'm missing you, but today.
For your own peace of mind, call 008 032 032 now for more information.
Same old town.
Telecom Telecard. Any phone, anywhere.
All you'll ever need, you'll find at Chisholm.
Variety, convenience, service. It's all here at the Chisholm Shopping Centre, where every shopper has a chance to win one of 6 fabulous family holidays at the exciting Nara SeaWorld Resort, travelling in air-conditioned comfort with Pioneer, Australia's coach line. One holiday will be drawn each Saturday at 11 a.m. Pick up an entry form the next time you shop and save at any Chisholm store.
Find everything you ever wanted at Chisholm.
Say goodbye to the shuffle and hello to the shuttle. The Express Shuttle, a new airline with up to 16 flights a day between Canberra and Sydney. Dedicated check-in and no shuffling. For bookings, contact ANZET. Express Shuttle, ready when you are.
It's Yurkovich Adventure Sports stock clearance sale. $150,000 worth of surplus stock must clear by August 4. Save up to 50% off recommended retail prices. Super-seated tents, pocket knives, sleeping mats, all ski gear, Gore-Tex jackets, down parkas, Polar Plus jackets, water skis, wetsuits, canoe gear, plus 15% off everything else in the store. This huge sale ends August 4, but hurry, stocks are limited. Yurkovich Adventure Sports stock clearance sale. Wollongong Street, Fishwick, open 7 days.
Jeffrey's race.
Back for the restart of play now. And Canberra really have the job ahead of them now with 24 minutes of play remaining. Paul Hoff receives from the kickoff and gives it away to Michael Hancock. Well, we mentioned about the nuisance value of the Brisbane Broncos. Remembering that later this in the rounds to come, North Sydney and Western Suburbs have to face the might of the Broncos, and they also very much in semi-final contention.
Porter, I might be the ultimate optimist, but I don't think Brisbane are totally out of the Winfield Cup in 1991 yet. They can still get to 26 points, and really there's a number of sides we've had upsets all season. Quite a few of the sides in front of them will struggle to 26, but they can do without that. Kerrod Walters tries a flick pass. I'm not against flick passes, but really there's got to be some chance of it on. Have a look at Kerrod here. Flicks it in. Really was never going to go to hand to his brother. Chance for Canberra to get back into the match.
3 changes to the Raiders side. We'll bring them up to date in a moment with those with Tony Durkin. I'll tell you how cold it is here today. Tony, the cheer squad has gone from the commentary side to the sunshine on the far side of the Bruce Stadium.
Yeah, I joined him too. I couldn't, Porto. I'm stuck here. Those 3 changes for Canberra: David Barnhill, Gary Coyne, Brett Atkins off, Stanton, Fritz and Matthew Baker in jersey number 40 on for the Raiders.
Well, Baker has been used 3 times so far this year. That's him in possession off the interchange bench. Good pass back for Stanton. Unloading it for Stewart. Trying to generate something here for the Raiders. Hancock. That's the mistake that Canberra wanted.
He put his foot out initially, Michael Hancock, to try and block it. He did well to instantaneously regain it and then just lost it.
Canberra forced to do a lot of work in defence. Now they're on attack. Morganson in with the good tackle with Hoff. Stewart a dummy half. Unloading it for Fritz. Tremendous defence coming in that time from Can. They're only a 5 metres short, the Raiders. They're down by 14 points to 2. It goes away for Baker, and Baker is taken in the tackle. The big line to the left. Steve Renoff down injured. Stewart with the long pass across field. Beautiful pass for Stanton. Back in Phil McDonald. A superb Canberra try. What a try by the Raiders. Constant pressure turned into points. They're back in the ball game.
Well, Canberra have exploited Brisbane's sliding defence here. The pass back on the inside. Stewart to Stanton creates the opportunity. Let's have a look at it. Brisbane sliding to the right-hand side. The pass back on the inside. Stanton does it well again. Pops it up. McDonald there to receive another inside pass. The sliding defence in trouble. Brisbane in trouble. Canberra back in the match. Let's have another look at it. The pass was not... There was Stewart firing the long pass out. I think this one is from Bell, Wood back on the inside. Stanton then finds McDonald. Brisbane had gone the wrong way. McDonald in under the sticks, and Canberra back in the match.
Yes, young Darryl McDonald, his third try. He came back in first grade last week as a fullback, and he's been rewarded with his third try of the 1991 season. It's a crucial one for the Raiders as they try to stay in touch in this season in the race to the Winfield Cup semi-finals. Now Wood from right in front adds the extra 2 points. It's 14 points to 8 for the Broncos. Back to halfway for the restart. Mark Hone on, Andrew G off, and significantly, Bill, the 3 changes made by Canberra, it was one of those replacement players, Stanton, who had a big hand in that try by McDonald.
Yes, well, they sort of they brought a bit of new life into this Canberra side. So too's the crowd now that they're back in the ballpark. It's 14 points to 8. And the crowd really getting behind this Canberra team as they work up towards the quarter line. Boyd from dummy half. And you go back, David, and it was a Broncos mistake, of course, which set up the situation for that try.
Well, that's right, Bill. It often comes about directly from errors, and good sides will make you pay.
Stewart with a big one downfield again. Bounce. Coming back towards Brett Plowman, who's telling the referee, McCallum, that these blokes are offside, and then decides to have a run. Walters. To Mark Hone. Only just onto the field and only just held on to by Matthew Baker. Alan Cann. Tweed follows him across field. He tries to get the... He does. He got it away to Michael Hancock, but it was touch and go there for a little bit.
That's right. That's where Brisbane push those passes, and often they don't come off.
So that's Gilmeister working up to the halfway mark. Kieran Walters. Now back to Kevin Walters. He slips. And then fights on for about another metre or so. Final tackle, Julian O'Neill. Gets it in behind Paul Martin. It's racing for touch and is going to find it.
Well, angle kick that one by Julian O'Neill. Low trajectory, made sure he got the run on. Just got it inside Martin. Had enough time. Canberra's chase game on the kicker there. Not as good as what it's been so far today.
So we wait for the scrum to pack down. There's the 5'8" Julian O'Neill. Stewart to feed the scrum. Referee McCallum talking to both front rows. In it goes. Coming across from the wing is Martin to take it outside of Ricky Stewart. Put to the ground right on the quarter line. The tackler this time is Paul Hoff. Back over there to Gaffey. Boyd to Stewart. He waits for a little bit. Then Baker ends up with it. Boyd. Pull down there in the tackle coming about from Tessman. So Canberra. Swinging it away to Ricky Stewart. Shapes for the kick. Got away from Renoff. Downfield to Hoff. And it's going to find touch about a couple of metres out.
Beautiful work there from Ricky Stewart. Initially under pressure. Renoff came out of the marker position. He just sidestepped him. No problems at all. There it is. Little bit of a dodge. And then knocks it down the touchline, gets the break he was after. Hoff could do nothing about it.
So it's the scrum to pack down. Kevin Walters to feed. 17 minutes remaining in the match, and the Broncos have a 6-point advantage at this stage, 14 to 8. That's Hoff. Almost through, but the fence gathers him up. Stuart Stanton led the way, and a penalty to the Broncos.
Delaying in the play the ball. Hoff trying to get to his feet quickly. Twigged one of the defaulters. Brisbane a chance to clear their territory. There's Paul Hoff. Made that half break, and that's what put the pressure on Canberra. They realised that their defence had to get back. Brisbane have just found touch just past the halfway line.
Well, the touch judge has his flag up. The crowd here at Bruce Stadium not too happy about it. Broncos 14, Canberra Raiders 8. Pass to no one. Picked up by Cann. Tackle count to restart as Cann pushes away a couple, but eventually put down by Stanton. From the play, the ball back over to Walters, then to Terry Madison. Wrapped up by Baker. To Mark Hone this time. Kieran Walters doubles around. Now to O'Neill. Well wrapped up by his opposite number, Twig. Deeth coming into the tackle also. Hone gets it outside over there to Renoff. I think that was a bit forward, David.
A little bit sus, Bill. I know it's not in the Broncos' game plan, but a field goal would be pretty handy right now.
They have never kicked one in 4 years of the Winfield Cup. I think they've only attempted one. That was Gene Miles against Penrith one day.
So here's Walters. Little kick back into the in-goal area. Ed has got a fine touch back there.
Well, that's where you can't afford to release pressure like that. All they had to do was keep the ball in play. The only thing you don't want to do is put it dead. Kevin Walters punches for the touchline and finds touch in goal.
So Canberra to take the tap right on the quarter line as Fritz charges up the centre. Mark Hone is the man to take care of him in the tackle. Broncos kicking on 18 occasions. Canberra 15. They've lost it. Canberra right on the halfway mark. Madison swings it back to Hoff. The big fella works across field. Up over the halfway mark is Hoff and eventually put down.
10 metres inside Canberra's end of the ground. Renoff is the dummy half. Plowman has come in from the left wing and grabs 5 or 6 valuable metres for the Broncos. Kerrod Walters now to dummy half. Giving it to Hone. Little step off the right foot. That's a good run. That's the sort of stuff Mark Hone revels in. Cam now looking to be the first receiver. Last week was only his second run-on appearance in first grade. Played pretty strongly against St George.
Played well today as also.
Now Walters skirts out of dummy half. Knocked down by Canberra. That will be a scrum with the loose head to the Broncos. 10 metres out and right under the goalpost.
Kieran Walters gets away with this one after a good little dash. Looks for that magic inside pass. Just blocked.
So they've got an option on either side, the Broncos. Hot positions on the right-hand side of the scrum. Not fed correctly. Kevin Walters to work the scrum for the Broncos. Hancock could be coming into the movement. Madison comes off the back, but eventually it just broke down. Walters in a dummy half, working blind side. Hoff. Walters calling for it. Looking for Hone. Cut him out, gave it to O'Neill. O'Neill got on the outside of his man. Renoff hung onto it, and he was wrapped up ball and all. Good defence by Mark Bell. Testman is the dummy half. Gilmeister takes them on. Gilly searching for yet another try in 1991. O'Neill held up less than a metre short. Final tackle. Alan Can cut out. It goes to Walters. Through the dummy. Renoff, numbers out wide. Hancock goes on his own. Can he get it down? The referee looks to his touch judge and says it's a fair try.
Brisbane got away with it. Michael Hancock, for the second time in the match, has got across the try line in similar circumstances. This time, he gets the ball down. The back line movement. Renoff it was, who ran a bit of a dummy here. Let's have a look at it. Renoff had come around. Walters there, gets the ball, gives it to Renoff. The inside one was Willie Morganson. And then Michael Hancock, agreed to go for the line, 8 metres out, backs his ability and also just gets it down. Brisbane now cementing this lead. Kevin Walters has been an architect of a lot of good play in and around the rucks. Renoff there, the link man, out to Hancock, gets it standing, and he actually has to make a lot of ground, 15 odd metres. He sets his side for the try line. It was the 6th tackle. Brisbane extend their lead 18-8.
Well, Hancock comes up with his 8th try of the season, and that little tussle that goes on between he and Chris Johns. They now are level on 32 tries apiece as the leading try scorers for the Brisbane Broncos. And I know that Johnsy will be watching this telecast tonight back in Brisbane at the Brisbane City Travelodge, along with Willie Kahn and Alan Langer. And no doubt the Brisbane fans wish him, all those 3 players, all the best on Wednesday night in that test match. Kieran Walters off and Andrew G on. And a crowd of around about 17,000 here today.
17,245 to be exact.
and quite a number of you just saw leaving the ground because it's 18 points to 8 to the Broncos. They won the first round clash 26 points to 12. Madison's attempted conversion is not on target. 10 points the difference. Brisbane hold that advantage.
No one aims better, no one shoots straighter, and no one's triggered off a mob war this big since Goodfellas.
Okay, wise guy.
Peter Strauss's Blake Edwards' dashing Private Eye Peter Gunn. A hilarious comedy premiere, Monday, 8:30 on Capital.
When sinus congestion hits, it's your own private nightmare. Sinutab quickly eases sinus pain while it clears congestion. Sinutab. You can live without sinus nightmare.
Is there an account that pays off my home loan sooner and saves tax?
Yes, Mr. Williams. We call it the Ken Williams Flexi account.
Do you have an account with daily interest and one card that I can use for everything?
Yes, Mrs. Booth. It's called the Jenny Booth Flexi account.
A national Flexi account can be tailored to meet all your personal banking needs.
I'd like an account with checks, daily interest, automatic salary crediting, ATM access.
Yes, Mr. Harris.
National Australia Bank, tailoring banking to your needs.
Milky Way Chocolate Whip and new Milky Way Milk Whip. Both whipped light and fluffy. They're treats you can enjoy between meals without ruining your appetite.
10-minute call, Lorraine Bailey.
For a lot of people now, shape is a really important part of taking care of themselves because it's so high in calcium and so low in fat. And as well as being low in fat, shape has virtually no cholesterol. That means it's the perfect choice for anyone who's watching their cholesterol levels. And for those who ought to be. Well, drink it, Terry. It's good for you. Good health. Shape. Keeps everyone in good shape for a lot longer.
Tonight, Colin's taking a break.
They said we was moving to Monday, but I can't find it on the map. Mondo.
Nah. But he'll be back Monday week in the new time of 7:30 on Capital. Tonight's MMI Big Game is proudly brought to you by MMI and Nissan.
There's the restart of play.
Fordo, I think they have got some chance. They can get to 26 points, as we mentioned before. There's no guarantees the sides in front of them can guarantee those 26. They'll need a few upsets, but if you keep winning, you're in with a chance.
Well, Canberra have won 4 of the last 5 matches. Their home record, as we mentioned, 6 from 8 going into this match. Brisbane's away record has been very, very ordinary, but they produced the goods today. Canberra have been forced to do a mountain of tackling. Gaffey is off, Coyne is on, and Billy into the final 10. The first appearance by the Broncos here at the Bruce Stadium, and they've done it pretty well today.
Yeah, they've worked pretty hard for it. Their defence, I think, has been very good. They made a couple of those fundamental errors again, but defence-wise, they've been probably one of their best.
It has been, Bill, but let's recall that against Canterbury earlier in the season, they led 18-8 with around about 10 minutes to go, which is right now, 10 to go. Brisbane will not want to relax.
Well, the referee says play on. Bacon not stop, says the referee. Back it goes to Twig. Don't say you're going to put the mocker on them, David. Canberra on the attack. Boyd goes the blinds, trying to get over the top. He's lost it. Testman will dive on it in the in-goal area.
Lost it forward, so there will be a scrum. And about 10 metres out, Brisbane will have the loose head and feed. Boyd tries to get the hands over the top. This is desperation stage. Look at the concentration of Brisbane defence in that area. They were keen to keep him out.
So it's Walters to feed this scrum. Cross to Plowman, who's dropped in from the wing. Got out of the first up tackle over there of Twig. Another strong run by Plowman. Here's Gilmeister. He has had another big one today. They move it up to the quarter line. G. Madison. Making some good ground up the centre now. Back it goes to Julian O'Neill. Dodged away from Fritz. Going to be charged down. O'Neill going back. Hoff is there. He dives on it for safety.
6 to go.
Ricky Stewart came in late.
Let's have another look at it. The charge down was by Ricky Stewart. Julian O'Neill's kick. Hoff gets back there just in time. Let's have a look at this. With a Ricky Stewart, well, Hoff gets a hold of it. He's still down on the ground. Greg McCallum now having a chat to Ricky Stewart.
Touch judges in also.
To effect a tackle on a player who is down on the ground, you only need to place a hand on them. But of course, in that circumstance, charging through after the ball, Paul Hoff signals to the referee. Good sportsmanship, Paul Hoff, but he's okay. Referee McCallum still believes it warranted a penalty. Terry Madison from midfield will look for touch. The replay, let's have a look. Over the top now, Stewart there late, swinging arm.
Did arrive a bit late.
A bit late, and a little bit head high.
If the train arrived that late, they'd be all right. So now back to home. 10 metres short of the halfway mark and 7 minutes remaining in the match. Broncos making more errors in Canberra. 28-21, another penalty.
Greg McCallum there finding fault at the play the ball, picking the ball. He's saying that the ball should have been played out. Now the ruck is formed by the 4 feet of the players involved in the play the ball. Now there's no reason that you cannot dive on that ball for mine. And I really don't know why Greg McCallum has awarded a penalty. The ruck is only in front of the man, or the feet of the man playing the ball, not behind. Brisbane's dummy half was a sweep. And I would think, unless he's decided it was a voluntary tackle, still amounts to a pretty tough decision.
So the kick by Madison will find touch midway between the quarter and halfway, down in Canberra territory. And from the tap, it'll be Tessman. Gerard Walters keen to get back onto the field. He will be taking the place of Trevor Gilmeister, but Gilly's not hearing too well out there at the moment. So back to Mark Hone. Straight up the centre again. Dummy half Madison. Walters. Dumping around Walters again over the top. Hancock. Going to be pulled out, eventually flicks it back inside. They keep it going. On to Tessman. Tessman put down about 4 metres out, and it is the final tackle. When he is allowed to play the ball, that is. Back it goes to Walters. He's going to put it up. It's cutting across field. Renoff going up. Got to be a penalty.
In front of the kicker, and really Brisbane have no excuse for getting in front of Julian O'Neill under those conditions. O'Neill there, it was Kevin Walters who put the kick up. Renoff found in an offside position. Bowman drops the ball anyway.
So we're into the final 5 minutes. The clock stops here at the Bruce Stadium. The sun has disappeared totally, Tony Durkin. What's it like down there?
Absolutely magnificent, Fordo. I think straight after this I might go for a swim.
Billy, you might just turn the heater down in the broadcast box. It's getting a bit warm here.
Yeah, it is. Wearing a hole in my trousers.
Now Canberra move the ball wide. I just wonder, David, the Brisbane Broncos travelled on the day of the game today, which now that they allegedly are out of semi-final contention, there's no need to come down the day before, but they certainly hasn't affected their performance.
It hasn't. McCallum's decided that was knocked back, and I don't know why, but Fordo, there is a school of belief that Brisbane are a spoilt side. is the, well, that's definitely knocked forward. There's no doubt about that at all. Knocked about 2 metres forward. Brisbane have now done a similar thing, but really, perhaps Brisbane do need to do it a little bit tougher. But I think the most significant thing today has been the work rate in the forwards. I think Brisbane have picked a very high work rate forward pack.
Now Stewart with the scrum feed coming off the back. Stewart backs up nicely. That's turning it over on tackle number 1.
Ricky Stewart has been their hardest worker. There's no doubt about that.
Brisbane lead by 10 and about 3.5 minutes of play remain here at the Bruce Stadium. Referee McCallum settles it for Walters to feed. Plowman's in from the left wing. Deeth got out quickly to put him on the ground. Now Madison stepping off the right foot, takes play beyond the halfway line. The defence was in the form of Twig. Now Hone.
Fordo, just to support what I say about the work rate in the forward pack, G 23 tackles, Hone 18, Gilmeister 17, Kerrod Walters 16. They've shared it around very, very well. They've also rucked the ball strongly.
They've scored 3 tries to 1. They're in search of try number 4. Turned back in nicely from Morganson. Hancock to his feet. A player lying prostrate there's towed forward by Hancock, lost forward by Brisbane. And play will come back to the quarter line. Coach Wayne Bennett would be pleased with the way the Broncos have performed today.
Michael Hancock trying to play the ball forward, but gee, it's pretty hard when players are lying directly in front of you. Wrong option.
18 points to 8. Brisbane in the lead. And play is 10 metres short of the halfway line. It's at Canberra's end of the ground. Stanton got it for Stewart. He dummied, unloaded it wide. The kick downfield this time by Bell. Picked up by Bell. O'Neill took him ball and all. Testman went low. It's the final tackle. Will Canberra run it?
6 to go for it.
6 more to go. It's spun wide. Wood out for Stanton. Hancock came in from the wing and read it well. Wood away for Coyne. Coyne turning it back infield. Taken upfield by Matthew Baker. Now 10 metres inside Brisbane's end of the ground. Stewart dumbing on the inside. A long pass to the open. Picked up nicely by Prince. He's impressed me, this big fella today, and the opportunities he's had. Blind side, they work it again for McDonald. He's had a strong game as well. This time taken into touch, was he? No. Martin unloaded it for Stewart. Puts it in the air again, a towering bomb. It's knocked forward. Well, did it go forward?
Canberra have no luck there as Greg McCallum plays a knock-on and a restart. Let's have another look. Marginally forward.
So Canberra denied again. What a costly drop of 2 Winfield Cup points for the Premiers.
Yes, it blues them on 20 points. The best they can get with 4 games to go, of course, is 28. And they come up against some pretty hot sides, Canberra. They have not got an easy run home themselves.
2 here against Western St George at the Bruce Stadium.
They play Gold Coast next week. And Manly in the second last game. So Canberra will also do it tough to get to 28.
Walters. Back it goes. O'Neill under pressure. Got away from Coyne. Long kick downfield. It's over the head of McDonald. It's rolling down into the in-goal area. McDonald will allow it to go dead. Well, that's the last throw of the dice to the Raiders here in this match this afternoon. The Brisbane Broncos have performed splendidly to win this round 18 clash to the tune of 18 points to 8. They scored 3 tries to 1. Kevin Walters, Hoff and Hancock. Terry Madison 3 from 5. The lone try from the fullback McDonald. Matthew Wood kicked 2 from 2. The final score at the Bruce Stadium, Brisbane 18, Canberra 8.
Monday following Neighbours.
We've sold the house.
Arthur's moving out.
Mum's happy.
Leaving a lifetime
Bye-bye.
of fond memories.
Sometimes I can't even remember what my memories are.
Mother and son, followed by Totally Hidden Video Monday.
These wines may look the same, just as many insurance policies look the same. But there is a decided difference in quality. MMI, the quality standard in insurance.
For years, when someone in the family had a bad cough, you got out the Benadryl because it worked fast. Now, clinical research proves Benadryl cough medicine temporarily relieves coughs in as little as 15 minutes.
Okay, let's work. So reach, and stretch those arms and pull, and pull. Now lift one, lift two, smooth.
You don't need a heavy workout to stay in shape, just a little light exercise. Light Philadelphia. It's 82% fat-free because it's a blend of cottage and cream cheese that's full of flavour.
Don't stop now. Do it. Pick it up.
Light Philadelphia. Enjoy some light exercise today.
Come on, dinner, come on.
No matter what the dogs are doing, when it's time for their dinner, time for their pal, they soon come running.
Martin Hewitt, breeder of champion Basset Hounds, tells why his dogs prefer Pal.
The reason they like Pal so much is the meatiness in it. It's the solid nourishment which keeps them fit and active. It's got lots of solid chunks in it, and we enjoy giving it to them because we know it's got vitamins and marrowbone. Well, the dogs eat it with a great deal of gusto. You just can't beat Pal. It's as simple as that.
Top breeders recommend Pal.
Beneath the surface, your body never sleeps. Every minute, it grows 80,000 new blood cells. Every second, the cells of vital organs. Every microsecond, it generates electricity in the brain. To do this, it needs energy from carbohydrates, which include sugar. Sugar makes up a small part of this energy source your body depends on just to stay alive.
Dan Aykroyd in his funniest film since Ghostbusters.
Your stepmother is not an alien.
And Kim Basinger.
He thinks that I'm a lunatic.
For the first time.
You're an alien.
Tonight on Capital, My Stepmother is an Alien.
Yes.
Well, it's little wonder our man of the match performed well today. Conditions just like his hometown of Toowoomba. Mark Hone, a great win by the Broncos.
Yeah, Tony, I think we're all pretty happy. You know, we've been sort of playing reasonably well without a lot of luck lately, so it's good to come here today and play well and get the points. And we seemed a lot stronger. We made mistakes still, but we didn't fall away after we made the mistakes today. I think that was the difference.
From a personal point of view, you must be pretty happy grabbing that opportunity when Greg Dowling pulled out. They don't come along too often these days, do they?
That's right, Durko. Yeah, I got off to a pretty bad start with a knee injury this year, and I found it pretty hard to get back, so I'm trying to make every opportunity count at the moment, so yeah, it's good.
Well, Honey, I know you've just bought yourself a house. I'm sure you can find a place for this multi-play compact disc player, and the $1,500 bonus will come in handy as well.
Certainly can, Durko, yeah. Thanks very much to Todd's High Five for the award too.
Well, Mark Hone's certainly smiling, as are the Broncos. For the Canberra Raiders, well, they live to fight another day. They're still in the hunt, but they now have to win every game that's left in the competition to make the final five. Before we look at the full weekend results, let's look at the action from the Manly-West clash.
The Manly-West game turned out to be a thriller with a touch of controversy. The first try went to Manly's John Jones in the 5th minute, but was the pass forward. Doubt also with West's first touchdown. Sean Devine over in the corner, but the replay showed he might have been lucky to have the try awarded. Manly took the unusual ploy of lodging an on-field complaint with referee Graham Annesley about West repeatedly infringing on the 5 metres. It got the result they wanted, with a flow of offside penalties going their way in the second half. That was cancelled when Michael O'Connor got a poor ruling. Referee Annesley penalising the centre for a double movement. With the game locked at 8-all, a field goal by West gave the Magpies the vital victory.
And here are the full results from the weekend. On Friday night, Norths just getting over the top of Parramatta, 12-6. Canterbury on Saturday, 19-12 winners over Illawarra. Today, St George 14, Gold Coast 6, Cronulla 48, East 14, who'd have believed that one. Balmain 25, winners over Newcastle 16, Penrith 23 over South 12 after a tough slog early on. West 9, beating Manly 8, and Brisbane 18. Of course, defeating Canberra 8. So the table now looks this way. Penrith on top and looking good for the minor premiership on 29. Then it's North, West in 3rd position, St George in 4th, Manly in 5th position. Then a clump of teams, Canterbury, Canberra, Illawarra and East, all with a chance of making the final 5. Brisbane look to be just out of it and just out of their reach. Next week's games, and important ones at that. West versus St George, Friday night. What a match that's going to be. It could determine if either side will make the final 5. Gold Coast versus Canberra, Illawarra Cronulla, Penrith Canterbury, East.
And yes, I'd love to come to dinner. And say next Saturday.
Next Saturday? Well, I was going to ask you to my mum's